Hello, good evening. It is 10 o'clock on the 4th of November 1979 and you are listening to BBC Radio 4. Welcome to The World Tonight. Today, we are going to discuss the militant Islamic students in Iran who have stormed the US Embassy in the capital, Tehran. Initial reports suggested as many as 90 Americans have been taken hostage, whereas some suggested as few as 35. It has now been confirmed that 52 Americans are being held, and others are unaccounted for at this time. At around 0300 GMT, hundreds of students began to gather around the embassy gates, with protesters reportedly holding signs claiming their actions to be peaceful and requesting a sit-in in response to a challenge from the US Marine Corps Guards. Those responsible for organising this morning's protest and the taking of the hostages were students from Tehran's major universities, who identified themselves as a group called Muslim Student Followers of the Imam's Line. They have demanded the return of the Shah to Iran to face trial in exchange for the return of the hostages to the United States. This comes after months of tensions in Iran, which saw protesters demand the removal of the Shah and the abolition of the Iranian monarchy. Following his coronation in October 1967, the Shah adopted a policy of political modernization. Based on westernization, Iran invested billions in industry, health, and education, resulting in an economic growth larger than both Britain and the United States in the previous decade. However, increased levels of education also revealed the Shah's use of the Iranian intelligence agency Savak to suppress political dissent, using torture and imprisonment to silence protesters. This, in conjunction with alleged corruption, led to the growth of civil unrest in Iran, and the brutal suppression of initial protests such as the Jaleh Square massacre, later dubbed Black Friday in the media, led the country to popular revolution. Ayatollah Khomeini, a Shia Muslim religious leader, promoted the idea that national law should be based on the principles of Sharia to prevent Muslims from deviation. He claimed Muslims required guardianship from leading jurists to achieve this. He also claimed that reverting common law back to Sharia principles would eliminate poverty, injustice, and the plundering of Muslim lands by foreign non-believers. Religious leaders outlawed the Western influence in Iran as tyranny and promoted the slogan, "Neither East nor West, Islamic Republic." Khomeini claimed to have evidence of American plotting, and rumours spread of the possibility of a US-backed coup to re-establish the Shah, which has since been denied by sources close to the US government. Following his exile in February 1979, the Shah was recently admitted to the United States to receive treatment for cancer. This intensified the aforementioned anti-Western rhetoric, and Khomeini recently called the US the Great Satan in a speech. A number of major protests have gathered outside the embassy in recent weeks, and the hostage-taking is the most recent in a series of events which are sure to have angered US policymakers and lead to a response in the coming days. Thank you for listening to BBC Radio 4 Tonight.